Good morning, everyone, and good morning, my friend Robin West. We go back quite a ways. In fact, maybe just to hit this off a little bit, it was about 8 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, it does.
And I was with another company that was drifting along. I was trying my darndest, but right about that time, we were doing something in the Bay Area meeting, and I was just calling all our Nikin friends at that time and telling them about an event coming up. And we got on the phone and we didn't talk a really lot. We'd known each other for a long time. And all of a sudden, I'm just spilling out my guts to you because I just got a recent diagnosis that was really scary. And you told me you need to call Chip, Little John. He's got something for you. And oh my goodness. And what was originally a health crisis turned into my career opportunity. And boy, it's really fun. Everybody's winning and we're doing some wonderful things. But Robin, you go back quite a ways in this, and you met Rick and Cell Defender, all these things. You're one of the pioneers. Could you tell a little bit about who you are and how you came to what you're doing as a diamond, making a big difference in the lives of many people? And boy, if you haven't seen Robin's show on Tuesdays, you're pretty much the bedrock of the culture of this company and just amazing stories and everything. So appreciate the big influence that you're doing, and thanks for coming on and sharing.
Absolutely, Dave. Thanks for the opportunity. It's funny, I had the jitters earlier and I went, that's kind of different. But when you talk about yourself, I think sometimes you go, oh, wait a minute. So I love the Tuesday family Zooms. I love hosting those. Those are so much fun. And you know why I started those? So we share our Vini stories is we did that in the first company when Rick was in that other company. And that's what grew our business was hearing each other's stories, encouraging and getting us to think about people to talk to. And so I loved that. And I started it with my group here in Avini. And then it just kind of grew. And other people want to do that too. And now I love it that we have so many Zooms or calls, the calls that you set up and through Monday through Friday, Tony Abeta having her Monday testimonial story Zoom, and then all the way through the week, everybody. You just glean so much from these calls. So thank you, Dave, for being proactive and setting those up. As soon as you got here, it was great. So yeah, our story goes way back in 2005 with Chip, and then they introduced us to Rick Deitch. And at the time, now Mark and I, just to give our background, we actually started with you, Dave, your company way, way back. That's what we learned what network marketing was all about. We were self employed entrepreneurs from the day we got married. We opened a business with a partnership in doing window coverings, and we did that for 5 years, and then we went on to doing a restaurant. I thought I could handle that because I did that with my parents a few times, but it's just when you got your parents to lean on, it's a lot different. It was like the buck stopped with Mark and I. It was very different, but we were young, thank God, and we were in our 30s, and it was about 7 years of that. I was always looking for that perfect business. And to me, the perfect business is I could work out of my home, no overhead. We had over $250,000 in overhead just to open up the Foster's Freeze, let alone the other expenses that happened along as we had to develop it. We were in debt up to our ears. We were in our 30s. We're like, wait a minute, this isn't what we thought. So when we discovered network marketing, and we were in that company, you were our mentor, Chip was our mentor, and other people, and Marcy, of course, and we just had a lot of fun. They were in our upline, though. Dennis and Ruth Williams were our mentors there directly. And I just love them to death. They're just so amazing. And other people too. And so then when we were invited, what I saw in the network marketing was the freedom. In fact, my company, my corporation, I named it Hope and Freedom. That's what I've always wanted to do. I just want to have fun in whatever I'm doing. And if I've got to work, it needs to be fun. But Mark and I, during that time, we were working part-time in the networking, and we went into window covering, which Mark had done in early ages, grew up in the business. So we were decided after the restaurant, we didn't want employees anymore. That's to me not fun, not freedom. And so I said, no more. We said, no more employees. So we decided just him and I. And so we'd load up the truck and trailer with shutters and blinds and whatever and haul them down to Fresno about an hour away and install all day and come home. And so 5 days a week, we were not home. And after 20 years of that, I'm like, we've got to find something to switch over to. And that's when Avini came into our lives. But The network marketing allows me to care about, my passion is to help others. And I get to help others, care about other people. They get to have a hand in creating their own health, just really getting their lives back. We have life changing, saving stories, just millions, it seems, thousands and thousands. And just every day there's something new. Someone's getting their life back, but also financially. And I love that. I love working as a team. And I get to help my team create income for themselves. And I have a lot of single women in my business that really need financial help. And it's fun to see them make some great checks in Avini. And Mark and I, when we discovered Avini, we got involved. And at that point, there were some health issues with Mark. And so I dug in while I was caring for my father in law in our home and Mark in our home, and just dug in and just called everybody and got them on board, had a blast. And we were off running. And we replaced our income that we had lost overnight because of Mark's health issues. Within a year and a half, we recovered, and we just keep going on and on. But the first month was an amazing check. That was exciting. I'm kind of going all over the place, Dave, but I'm just, these memories are flowing in of how amazing the last 4, 5, 6 years have been, joining back with Rick Deitch and Neil Roth. And I'm just blessed to be here. So thanks for letting me come on and share.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been doing it 50 years, if you can imagine that. I've been with quite a few companies, given my heart to 8 different companies, and I don't hop around a lot. But one of the things I think is really critical is, and I think you and I are pretty much out of the same thing, and I would say perhaps everybody is, you really want to have a product that makes a difference. So I think there has to be meaning and purpose in our work. And if you can have a product that actually transforms people's lives, and I've had the honor to be with companies that do, that's just absolutely amazing. What's even better is to have something so amazing and nobody's heard about it, and you get to be the one to share the exciting story, and they can only get it from you. But then also, I think really critical is the company. You want it to be well managed and competent. And so I would put essentially competency as far as business acumen, and then also trustworthiness. And sad to say, I've been with companies that had one or the other or neither. And I'm looking back, I'm just thinking Avini, of all the companies I've been with, that is the one that really marks it, where it's clearly trustworthy and competent, and you can really do something with that. Also, just you personally, you did pretty good with that first company where we met. How long were you there, and how did you do? I don't think you hit diamond in that company, and you have in this. So as far as a business, this has been very rewarding. And we're in a business to profit and earn income. But of course, in Avini, we're in a business to profit by doing tremendous good. But maybe you could elaborate on that a little bit as far as just business potential and where you see yourself now, and certainly the future.
Yes, that first company was such a great experience. And we went platinum. We were in the leadership, but I just got to say that the turning point from that company, we were in for probably 6 years. And then things happened, and we still used the products, loved the products, but something happened, life changed. And so we were out of it, didn't know if I'd ever go back into network marketing. And then when Chip and Marcy introduced us to Rick, and I heard the stories that were happening, here's really the turning point. Is my husband said to me, if you're going to do this again, you call Marcy and you find out what you need to do to be successful. Because he wasn't really excited about getting back into network marketing. And I did. I called her up. I said, what do I do? And she says, you do what I do. You talk to people and you get them on the phone with me, and we'll get them on a road, do the same thing, just that duplication, but do the 3-way connection call. And that changed my whole business. We flew, I say, within a couple of years, we were in diamond ship in that business, and then went to single, double diamond in that business. And it was a glorious run. It was wonderful, but people's lives were being saved and changed in my family's lives. I couldn't stop talking about it. You couldn't pay me not to talk about it. It was too good. People needed hope in their lives, and my whole family had hope. As soon as we got involved, we started having all kinds of fun things happen. For one thing, I was going through that change in life. I was 48. I was miserable. I was working with my husband still, hard labor. I would unload the trailer with the shutters, and they were pretty heavy. Take them to him, unwrap them, all that. And we were exposed to heavy metals, toxins, especially when you open the package. You've got all kinds of things coming into your lungs and things. And I get sick pretty often. When I found the Cell Defender, that really was amazing because I'd done a lot of detoxing in my life. Lots of detoxing because I really don't do doctors. If I have a crisis, I'm thankful for the doctors, but I do chiropractors, I do healers, and I was getting sick so often throughout my life, but I had an issue that had scar tissue where I couldn't have children. And so that caused a lot of issues. And then when I was going through the change, it was really like, oh my goodness, the hot flashes were terrible. I was anxiety every day. I'm like, oh my goodness, where'd this come from? I never had that before. Started taking the Cell Defender. I did 10 drops 5 times a day, 3 days. I'd been having anxiety for over a year. 3 days, no more anxiety. I was on cloud nine. And then my hot flash started diminishing. And then he came out with his mushroom product, with our Zimmunity product, we call it now. Oh man, that changed my life. Hot flashes pretty much disappeared. I flew through that whole process. I'm 68 now. I feel probably better than I did back then because of all the products I've been on and all the changing in my body, how good it's gotten, how strong I still am. It's just amazing. So what happened though, I'm going to tell my favorite story. 2 weeks after we were starting this product, I told my brother and his wife, because his daughter, my niece, has two boys that are on the spectrum. And they were 4 and 6. They were in diapers. They couldn't speak sentences. And the youngest one was on anti-seizure medication for those issues and anger. So we got them on the Cell Defender. And within 2 weeks, both boys started speaking in sentences. And our whole family, I remember getting the call. I remember being on the call and going, wow, our whole family's just, what do we have our hands on here? We got to spread the word. And then over that summer, because they started in May or June to get the product. And so then they kept going that summer. They got out of their diapers. The youngest one came off the anti-seizure medication. They just changed into these very high functioning young men, and they're very intelligent, and autistic children are very intelligent. And so I love helping the autistic world, the parents, the families, everyone's lives change, especially the children. And that was really precious to me. And so I was in forever with Rick when that happened. And then several of my family's lives got extended lives, better quality of life while they were in their older age and until they transitioned into heaven. And it was miraculous. So I'm not sure I answered your whole question, Dave. I kind of got off on the things that
Oh,
really please me, really help me stay in this. And I'm here, I'm passionate. And that's why I love doing the Avini story calls. I love hearing what is happening to people, and it's happening every day. It's still happening. So we're talking over 20 years ago. It's still happening every day. You think maybe our product is proven.
yeah. So those two nephews you have, they're in their 20s now, I would
Yeah.
guess, and they're probably still using it, and they're still probably out of diapers. More
Yeah.
than that.
Oh, yeah. They be quickly within that year, they quickly really rose to more function, a lot more function. And then over the years, they stayed on it. In fact, the oldest one would say to the younger one, if he got the younger one would get a little frustrated. Now, the anger never came back like that. He was so angry they couldn't keep him in school. They couldn't put him in preschools. And that anger never came back, but he'd get frustrated, and his older brother would go, "Did you take your drops? Come on, let's go take your drops." So yes, they're in their early 20s now, and they never go a day without the drops. And they are amazing young men. We just love them. They're just incredible.
Specifically, that problem, it's just so predictable. It just seems like we could say it always works. Sometimes really dramatically, sometimes a little more subtle, but it always works. And then what's really amazing is it's all upside. It won't hurt you. That's the great thing, is a lot of stuff out there. There could be a risk reward balance, and on Avini and Cell Defender particularly, it's all upside, no downside whatsoever. And then the idea that just living on Earth, we're definitely exposed to bad things. And so we've got the problem. maybe we don't notice that it's affecting us because our body is marvelously created and there is some reserve capacity, but we do have a burden in there. And why not? May you never know what you're preventing. So that's a powerful thing. So you've been working with this for 20 something years. That first company, okay, so you were a diamond and millions of bottles were sold. That company went all around the world. And gee, I wonder if this product works. I wonder if there's a marketplace for it. What do you think?
Yeah, there's definitely a marketplace. In fact, it just keeps getting better, Dave. It doesn't get old. That's exciting. We just were able to take several of our team members to levels this last month. I looked to see our whole group, our team had its highest volume this last month in April. And you think about that, it's just so much fun. It's like we just keep on going. We keep bringing new people in. We keep helping people get their lives back and get their finances back. That's a big, huge thing for me. Is okay if I tell my story of Mark and the finances and why I
Oh, I
love
think you
this
should.
company?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Because when we started this company, and I know there's a lot of us at our age that are taking care of parents, and that's what we do. And we had my father-in-law in our home for over 10 years. And when Avini started to open right before Avini opened, let's say about 5 years ago, then my husband, I found him on the floor in the middle of the living room in the middle of the night, and I was woken up. I just thank God for that because I was at the other end of the house. So he was totally paralyzed on one side, couldn't speak. Got him to the hospital. Fortunately, we had an intuitive person tell us 6 weeks before this happened for Mark to be on a really heavy dose of the cell defender. And so he had been cleaning out his body really well. He'd been taking 10 drops every waking hour for 6 weeks. And when this issue happened, he did not have brain bleed, so he was able to have the medicine they give you to help you with this and hopefully get your faculties back, things that you've lost back. And I said to the doctor, how long? What are we looking at? He said, over weeks and months, you can slowly get back what you lost. And I said, let's go for it. We don't have a choice. We're looking at him laying in the bed. He can't do anything. And so he took the medicine, and within 1 hour, Mark was 90% back. It was miraculous. Now, I know there have been other people here and there that it happens to, but I totally believe, and I was talking to Rick, our biochemist, about that, and he said, absolutely. Mark took a better body to the situation. And I think that prevention that we talk about with Cell Defender and our Nano Silver and this immunity, all of our products, getting our bodies in a great situation. So if anything does happen, we're in a better situation to recover. And that's what happened. It was unbelievable. It was so shocking. We had, fortunately, in the emergency room, we were in a side room. It was a storage supply room. And so it was nice. It was right off. It was quiet. And because Mark's story got all over the hospital, this is one of the main hospitals in Fresno, we had probably 15 or 20 over that night because he had to be there for 24 hours to watch because the medicine they give you is dangerous. You have to watch it because it can cause a brain bleed. So I had to watch him. And they come in and they're acting like they're getting something out of the supply cabinet. And then they stop and look at him and go, so you're the guy that had the issue, right? And he goes, yeah, I guess I did. And their mouths dropped. That was amazing to me that it was just such a miracle. But then they found that he had heart issues. We didn't know. And he had 3 arteries that were over 90% blocked. And his body had actually even created small bypasses to help him, or he wouldn't have been there anyway. And he did have a heart attack. We found out later he had a couple. We didn't know, silent. So here we are, and they sent us up to Stanford because they also found 2 aneurysms in the back of his head that we didn't know were there, but they wanted to look at him before they do any heart situation, right? So the heart surgeon said he's definitely got to have bypass, but his heart muscle is not in good enough shape, so we want to wait a few weeks. So we did. Well, we called Rick, called Marcy Chip, we did everything we needed to do, and Rick did not have his cardio product out yet. But he gave us as many ingredients that he could to go get at the health food store and put together. And that was awesome. So Mark stayed on the Cell Defender every hour, 10 drops every waking hour. He was on all those products that we could. He was diligent. Mark was amazing. He really was consistent. He never missed. He went vegan for 6 months. He lost 40 pounds in 2 months. And then in about a year and a few months, we put the surgery off. In about a year and a few months, he was in great shape. Now, I have to say, this is one area I'd like to add because there's a lot of people out there with this issue. Mark's ejection fraction, which is the blood coming out of the heart, the circulation and all that going through, is supposed to be balanced, and it should be 55 to 60 or 50 to 60, somewhere in there. They like it to be 55, 65. Mark, when we first started this issue in the hospital, was at 15 to 20. And usually you can't walk at that point. And until he had that thing that caused his side to be paralyzed and all that, he'd been walking, he'd been pretty much doing everything. And they said, you're really an anomaly. What happened was it increased. By the time the surgery happened, he was up to 40, 45. So what happened was his body was able to heal itself with the help we were giving it. And like Rick says, you don't normally reverse heart failure, but that's what we were doing. And so during that time, though, I was building, and building to me is so simple. Building our business in Avini is so simple. All it is sharing your stories and showing people how they can get their life back, their health, but also their finances, and they can help other people in those areas too. Where can you go do that and work out of your home? We built all the way to Diamond without having a meeting. We did Zooms, but I love getting together. I love the parties now. We're getting together, having fun. But here we are, and we replaced our income actually right away. The income was magnificent for me, and I was able to care for my father-in-law, able to care for Mark, able to have the income coming in, because Mark and I were just on Social Security at that point. And so here comes Avini. It saved our lives in many ways. But then I love that the financial benefits, it's unlimited. You can make as much as you want. Dave, you're a perfect example. You got in. I love it. You got in, you built, you went to work, man, and you built it the first year or two, and you're reaping the rewards. I know you continue to build, but you're reaping the rewards. So however Avini can fit in someone's life, like myself, maybe because I was doing it pretty part-time, I want people to know it doesn't matter what life situation you're in. If you love people and you love to help people and you'd like to help create yourself a financial, wherever you want to be, if you want to just do extra $500, but if you want to make even thousands of dollars, I'm making more now than we ever made in our 20 years business that we controlled for 12. We thought we were in control for 20 years, but here we are. And there's no limit. We're going to keep going.
I love how Zig Ziglar puts it. He says, money isn't everything, but it's right up there next to oxygen. and the things that money
Absolutely.
does, that's wonderful. But the thing I love about Avini is, in a way, it's a report card, a certificate of service rendered. Then going on to that, the check is wonderful, but that spiritual income where you get this emotional paycheck. And I think, okay, we listen to these stories and it's just absolutely amazing. But then a lot of times as we build our business and it's on the team, you have one of your calls and I think, oh, that's somebody who I shared it with, who shared it with somebody, who shared it with somebody. And in a way, you're thinking, oh, that ripple effect, because that person is telling this amazing miracle. I got to be a part of that because maybe if I hadn't talked to somebody who talked to somebody, maybe not, they would have not heard about that and that story wouldn't have happened. And I think that's just so exciting, but also it gives you a sobering reality that we have influence. And I look at Avini, once we've been told about this, it becomes I believe, an inescapable responsibility that this is so good. We need to let other people know about it. And if Avini's going to pay us, it wouldn't be polite not to accept that and go ahead and fill out your iPay out and everything and have that happen. But it's just so amazing. So anyway, everything was going really well. 15 years ago, you were riding high. What happened? How come we're in Avini and not that other company?
I was thinking about that, and really, it is amazing to me that people don't recognize the genius of Rick Deitch. The ones that miss out, it's too bad because he is a genius. He knows what he's doing and he loves humanity. Anybody can go walk up to Rick and he is right there talking to them. He cares about that person in front of him. He's amazing. If you ever stood and watched him, I sat back and watched him talk to a group of people, but he's talking to that person. Everybody gets to hear, but he's that person that came and asked that question. They're important to Rick. He's going to answer them. He cares about people. He loves people. But boy, is he a genius in the science and the biology and knows the body. You can ask him any question. And if he doesn't know it, he'll go look it up real quick for you. But most of the time, he doesn't have to look it up because he reads what, 70 publications a week? He knows what's going on in the world. He knows what people are discovering. It's because they didn't appreciate him, Dave. That's all. I don't want to go back into all that. It's kind of painful if you go back there. But people did not, the owners of the company we were working for, in my opinion, became about greed and didn't understand what they had their hands on. And so there was a separation and they just didn't want Rick working for them anymore. But it destroyed the business. It destroyed all of us because that's why we were there. So when Rick was able to come back out and have his cell defender, and I was never gonna, and I didn't, Dave. I dabbled a few here and there with just getting product wholesale, but I was not interested in doing network marketing unless Rick was back. And when he got back, we jumped in and it was awesome. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were comparing asking about another zeolite compared to ours. And I said, I really don't need to defend our product. We have what we have and we see the proof. We have people on testimonial calls every week, new people, new testimonials, and the ones that have been with us. After a couple of years of being on these products, you have new testimonies. You have the new story of things that are happening. I just hurt my back 2 weeks ago. I just was pushing something in the back of the truck and I went, oh man, I haven't done that in years. And I have an old injury from getting bucked off my horse and all this stuff I've done all my life. And I thought, oh, I'm in for it for 2 weeks. So I went in, I grabbed the Plus Relief spray, started spraying that in my mouth. But you know what I did? I wanted to experiment. I really concentrated on the plus motion. I put 3 plus motion in my mouth and I did it 3 times that day, did it again the next day, did it again the next day. And by the 4th day, I did not have that pain. I could lift things, which I was being careful because that's what kind of bothers it. And I'm like, this is amazing because it always took me 2 to 3 weeks to get over, even with my chiropractic adjustment. And I didn't have a chiropractic adjustment yet. I was thrilled about that. But so, yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that at this point. We've run it into the ground of what happens. And here's the thing, we're on a different chapter. I know, we're on a different level. That's the thing is our company, I just feel like our whole team, our whole family, we're on a different level where we work together. Doesn't matter where you are in the team. Dave, you'll work for my people. I'll work with your people on 3 with anybody in our groups. We'll work with each other. We want everyone to win. There's no competition here. Yeah, we have some fun, friendly competition. Like Dave Gilday and I'll go, okay, Dave goes, I go, okay, I'm going back to Diamond Executive because I'm going up to Diamond Director. And you know what? We did it. Both of us got it. And it's a friendly, come on, let's go challenge. But as far as, oh man, the love that we have in this company from the top down, I don't think you can match it anywhere in the world right now. And
that's my favorite.
Yeah. And the products that we have drive that.
Best.
It's all about the products. These products, Rick has developed products for almost every part of our body. And if it's not specifically for that part of the body, it's still going to focus. It's still going to help the other organs that it's helping and all of the cleaning out and all. It's all helping the whole body. You're hearing a lot about vagus nerve these days and how the guts being that brain that the information goes up the vagus nerve into the brain, and actually the stomach controls the body more than our brain does. I just heard that the other day. And Dave, you're really good at, you could probably say that much better. But I'm thinking we're supporting the vagus nerve with what we're doing. We're supplying every part of our body. I want to say I have, and I know you say the same thing, I have some of the most incredible leaders in my team. And I'm not going to name names because I don't want to miss anyone. Everyone in my team, every one of our Avini family is so special, so important. Whether you're just buying wholesale and using the products and you tell someone about it and then refer them to the person that told you, you're a part of our family. We need you. We need to get the word out. We're on a mission. We're passionate. This needs to go worldwide. But it's the team that built where I am. I wouldn't be anywhere without the team. I know, Dave, you'll agree. Without any of the leaders, we know it's not about us. Thanks for letting me come on and share my story, but it's about the whole family. And we rise together. What is it? All ships rise together. We've been talking about that. And so when one of us is successful, the rest of us gets that frequency spread out, and it starts becoming fun. And I just want to encourage anyone that's on that's brand new, that maybe is taking a look at Vini, either for the products, whether you want to be a wholesale member and buy the products. I say get on them, buy the biggest of the activation pack that you can, because it's going to surprise you what the products do for you and your family. And you can spread it out. You can share it with your family or friends if you get the big pack. It's amazing. If you want to also create a financial income, whether it's part-time or full-time, this is a perfect place to do it. And it's the perfect time. Dave, let's talk about the perfect time for Vini. I know you're good at that. This is it, man. We're like ready to explode, and we need partners. We need partners to come on and help us get this out to the world, because it's exciting. I'm more excited today than I was when I first got going with the Vini. What about you?
Oh, definitely. So far, it's been fairly linear and organic and kind of coming along. And every month has been amazing. When Avini started, it was instantly profitable. And so the thing I love about it, though, is our heritage. So we look at Rick Deitch. There's been familiar with him for 20 years and worked with him. There's people that go back 30 years. And so I guess on a timeline, as far as products, nutritional products specifically, Rick was with Rexall. And during the 90s, that was the largest manufacturer of nutrition products on the planet. And he did billions of dollars in product development there. So good, so profitable that the owner sold the company. And then Wayora came along. I think that was about 2004 or so, and you guys got right in the beginning of that and ran with that. And that was where Cell Defender, which was called Cellular Defense at that time, and things did really well. And I guess the bottom line on that is the owner, I remember like Chip and Marcy, they did so well that he said, "Hey, nobody's worth that kind of money. We need to change the comp plan." And a few other things like that. And so I came along much later, about 8 years ago, and I was using the product. But at that time, there was no business opportunity, but we had the product. And I had a miracle happen inside 3 months, a diagnosis. And then all of a sudden, a doctor saying, "I've got some great news. There's nothing there." And jubilation. But at the same time, I was with a company that was dead in the water. Wayora was dead in the water, and Chip and I would commiserate. Here we had wonderful products, but no viable business. And then I remember ordering some of that product and just looking on the bottle, I could see something was wrong, opened it up and thought, this isn't the same stuff. And I called, and they found out that they'd broken the contract. So they thought, we don't need distributors, so we'll quit paying them. And I think we can make something good enough ourselves, and so we don't need Rick. And Rick actually sued and won. And then the settlement, he gets a royalty on them. And the company said, also, we don't want you saying anything. And Rick says, no, I want to say everything. And they did. So we can talk about it. But anyway, so Rick actually gets a royalty on their inferior product every month, and it's not very much because it doesn't work really good. But then what happened is Chip called and says, "Hey, Rick has found a new company," and we got involved in that, and that went south. And we're talking, as you and I probably both were appealing to Rick and Neil, "Why don't you just start your own company?" And they were saying it's a lot easier to be a vendor than an owner. But ultimately, it just came to the point that where Neil always talks about this idea, and it's sadly true, it's always the owners that ruin the company. So they stepped up and started this. And so it's all on them, but it's fun to be in a company that they went through all of that too. And they've got PTSD just like us. And so they've created something where this is the last business that you'll have to build. And right now we are in our A game. And so we've got all of these products that have already proven themselves in the marketplace. And we've got people that have been around and they've created the best comp plan I've ever seen, the best products and the best time, because we're getting ready to explode. And it's fun to be in your A game and something that's so wonderful. And right now, relatively, we're under the radar, but this will be a $1 billion company. And I say that because the best way to predict the future is create it. And that's what we're doing. We're going to make this $1 billion company.
Exactly. And it's so exciting. It really is. And I wanted to say too, Dave, when I was talking about my team, I want to say that I've never been in a company where the if you're in networking, you know what cross-line is, but we call them cousins because we really don't feel like we're
Mhm.
cross-lined. But where the teams, other teams work with the teams. We're just one big family. I don't know if there's another company out there that works like ours. And just that it's so important that everybody gets to win. That is so amazing. I have a couple that came in and joined us and had been in Amway, had been really good size, big in Amway, and then actually was in Wayora back then. I didn't know him at that time. And when he started getting in here, and he said, after a few months, he goes, "I have never had this kind of upline support. I've never had anybody help me build my business." And I said, "This is the way it's supposed to be done. This is network marketing, everyone helping each other." Network marketing is brilliant. I think it came from above. I think it was
Mhm.
designed from above and given wisdom, just like all of us get downloads. Rick gets downloads from above on his products. That wisdom comes from our creator source, and it's beautiful. But I think network marketing to me is the perfect business, but I do believe that people can ruin it. Just like you said, the owners ruin the companies. And here we, the distributors, who are doing great, having a blast, we're helping people, and then all of a sudden it's gone. You're right. I love that about this company. Rick Deitch and Liz and Neil Roth and Claire own the business. They know what they're doing, debt free from day one. And here we are, just ready to just absolutely expand. Nothing blocking us to expand tremendously. And I love what's going on with these in-home parties. I know you did a lot of in-home parties. Hey, you had an in-home party the other day, didn't you? What happened?
Just last Saturday, yeah, we had several people come. A new couple came. They got excited and bought the big pack, and they're all pumped. And what was really fun is, of course, I've been doing this for quite a while, and so when I placed them, that was quite in depth. And I called and told them where they were, and that person had just sponsored somebody, so they put somebody underneath them, and they instantly had a downline. And one of the things I love is finding somebody like that's been around and done it before, and they get excited and they think, "Oh wow, this is we're going for it," and they already know a lot of the fundamentals. But one of my very favorite things, and of course I got to emphasize that is fun to find somebody that's already skilled and knows how to do it. But my fun thing is bringing in somebody that would like to do this but has never succeeded before, and they say, "Wow, I this is working. I've never made money in one of these before, and I am in this." That makes me feel really good. And I'm with you. I think this is it's the way, the best way to do the business. It really is. It's the most pure, equitable, fair, wonderful, balanced, all of the good and none of the bad. The only thing is, so many people, the only thing they know about network marketing, they've learned from people that do it wrong, because you can do it wrong. And if you just really, the best thing I look at is if you just treat people the way you want to be treated, and don't be in a rush, and just really love people, and just what's best for them is always best for you. And if you're just thinking in your mind, how can I help them? Because people feel it. If you're thinking in your mind, I'm going to go get some people and make some money, they'll feel that. But if you're thinking, I want to change the world, and when we have a mission like Avini, people get wrapped up in that. That's what they want to do too. And if you do it right, then it's almost a profit, and all this stuff is a byproduct. It just automatically happens. You don't really need to think a lot about that. You just think about, I'm going to build an empire and change the world, and it just automatically happens.
And I love what's coming up in May. And if someone's new on the phone, they can come with us. We've got lots of room still. He'll make room, he said. He said he'd make room. He said, keep inviting. But down at Boca Raton in Florida, the labs, I know, Dave, you've seen them. Mark and I have not seen them yet. So this is the first time we've committed to going that far since Mark's issues. And so I'm really excited. We're both very excited to see the facilities growing from 8,000 to what, 18,000, and now we're at 33,000 square feet in the facilities, and we get to go tour them and then have this wonderful, and this is going to be special. This is going to be different, unique. I'm not even sure what all they're doing, but Neil just says you're just going to be surprised. It's going to be a blast. We're
Mhm.
going to have fun, and I love to have fun. So I'm excited about what they've got planned, and we'll all get to see it together in 2 weeks on the 14th and 15th of May. Excuse me, 15th and 16th of May. So ask the person that you invited you on the call if you want to come with us. We'd love for you to see it. And that's the best way for that I feel for a new person to come in and go, okay, do I really want to be involved with this company? Come take a look. You can see the whole facility. And we're talking state of the art. Oh, Rick loves his equipment and always wants to get the best. And so I can't wait to see the new equipment he's got in there.
Truly unsurpassed product. If you want to change lives, Avini products do it the most and the best. Immeasurable market, the best comp plan I've seen, the best people, where every company has a personality and birds of a feather do flock together. And we're just attracting quality people. And boy, if you want to change the world and work with really good people, and if you'd like to run as fast as you can in something that you feel is worthy of your all, this is it. The timing's right. And let's go do this. Any final thought that you want to say on that, Robin?
Oh, yeah. I want to say if you want to change your life and you want to be part of something huge, something amazing that changes other people's lives, that you get to be a part of helping them change their lives, and you want to have the best health that you've ever had, even at an older age. We're attracting the younger generations now. I'm surprised, Dave. We did a booth a few weeks ago. The 20-year-olds, I had a high school girl come up to me and ask me about depression. She pointed to the chart. We have that toxin body chart, and then it tells you what toxins, how many diseases, toxins are part of creating any disease. But she pointed to bipolar. And she didn't, and I just said, wow. I said, we've got some great products for emotional. And it was really wonderful to give her some answers, some hope. So if you love helping people, or maybe you just want to make an incredible income and help other people make incredible income, this is your place. Anything that you're looking for in the world of health, financial health, physical health, and spiritual health, I'd say too, and have a family around you that'll help you build. Get on board, man. Get the biggest pack you can afford right now and get on the products. I gotta say, Dave, I want to encourage people, if you're getting started, don't wait for your own testimonial, your own Avini story. Don't wait for that. Borrow someone else's and start talking about it. That's how I've always built. I just share everybody's testimony, even though I'm getting help too. But it may take you a little longer to get your own testimony. You don't want to slow down. Don't slow down and wait for your testimony. Just get going and use other people's and just share. Hey, I heard the other day something about somebody had that same issue. Hang on, I'll get them on the phone with you. And you could just start building a business right away. You don't have to have your own testimonial. In fact, we have a lot of people that are leaders that were healthy coming in. They didn't have a lot of issues. So yeah, just get on board, guys. We want to invite you to be part of our Avini family. You're welcome to come check it out and get your Avini package. That's the best. The activation pack, I think, is the best way to check out the product. Get on them, get on them all, test them all, and have your person that invited you or the upline team help you get your results, and then go share it.
All right, let's go do this. Thanks so much,
Let's
Robin.
do
Love you.
this. Thank you. Love you too, Dave. Thank you.